Hello everybody, A.W.O.L back here again with another video, and I'm here to give you my official review for A.W.O.L Season 4, Episode 11, titled A.W.O.L. Now, of course, if you haven't seen this episode, please go check it out because this review may contain spoilers. But that being said, let's get into the newest episode of A.W.O.L. Now, first things first, I know I'm going to forget it in between my review of this specific episode, so I'm going to just put it out there right at the beginning, so I can just get out my personal opinion and feelings towards this essential, I guess, plot device. And that's, of course, Blue Beetle. Now, if you didn't notice, essentially they reference Cord Industries, which is, a business industry that's owned by Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle, in the comic books. And, of course, CW, specifically Arrow, have been referencing Cord Industries for a very, very long time. But not only that, they've been referencing Cord Industries with a lot of DC properties. And I'm pretty sure they did it on The Flash a couple of times, obviously a lot of times on Arrow, and of course they've been referencing the character with the Warner Brothers universe. Of course, Zack Snyder has talked about it. They've mentioned it in the marketing campaigns towards Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and of course the whole Justice League universe and stuff. And all I can say is, at this point in time, I am so insanely sick of seeing Cord Industries Easter eggs everywhere I see a DC something. I'm just tired of it. In my personal opinion, I want to see someone finally pull the trigger on giving us a live-action Blue Beetle already. I'm sick and tired of seeing a reference, an Easter egg. I'm done. At this point in time, I have dealt with 5 years of fucking Arrow, basically, just referencing Cord Industries, but not giving us live action. And now we have to get more of that with the movies? No, I'm sick and tired of it, so at this point in time, I am done seeing Cord Industry Easter eggs. If they want to do this again, we need some payoff. So if I see another one, I'm telling you, if I see another Cord Industries Easter egg name drop, my mind will explode, because I'm sick and tired of just consistently referencing the character of Ted Cord, Blue Beetle, but not actually seeing a dude in a fucking blue suit calling himself the Blue Beetle fighting crime. Granted, they try to do it back in Season 3, but Warner Brothers is like, hey, don't do that. And then Warner Brothers is like, hey, we're gonna do Blue Beetle possibly in the Justice League movies, but hey, Arrow still gets to fucking reference Cord Industries? How does that work? Fucking make it happen already. At this point in time, I don't even care if it's on TV versus the movies. I just need to see a live-action Blue Beetle already before I fucking die and explode, because I'm sick of seeing Cord Industry. I'm sick of seeing that logo. I need to see a dude in a suit behind that logo already. It needs to fucking happen already. So, let me know what you personally think about it, but at this point in time, if I see another Cord Industries Easter egg reference name drop, my mind will explode, and I'm gonna start destroying things. But at the end of the day, moving off of that little tangent rant, the big thing of this episode, of course, is Diggle versus Diggle, Felicity dealing with her goth self, and of course a secret agency trying to take down Argus. Those are pretty much the main plot points of this episode, and without getting into too major spoiler territory, let's start off with the Argus stuff. Now, the Argus stuff is pretty irrelevant. I think the best way I can put it is, if you remember back in Season 3, and they had the Suicide Squad tendencies. I think it was called Suicidal Tendencies. It was a Suicide Squad episode, essentially. And that was the episode where they killed off Deadshot on Arrow. Spoilers. Granted, Season 3 is kind of a crappy-ass season for Arrow. However, that was a specific episode that really, I guess, really affected a lot of people who are fans of not only Deadshot, but of course fans of Arrow and stuff. And we already knew why that happened. Of course, it was because David Ayer is making a Suicide Squad movie, and Will Smith is the Deadshot of that specific movie. And of course, it's fucking Will Smith. Of course, he's gonna fucking want himself to be the only relevant Deadshot around in the DC universe, regardless if the movies are canon or the TVs are canon, or if they're ever going to be affecting one another or crossover with each other. It doesn't matter, because Will Smith is Will Smith and he has to be Deadshot. So they killed off Deadshot in Season 3, and for Season 4, they basically, spoilers, did the same thing with Amanda Waller. Now, granted, Amanda Waller wasn't the greatest of supporting characters in the Arrowverse, but I just thought it was kind of interesting how this was Amanda Waller's episode in the same way last season we had the Suicide Squad episode that was a more or less a Deadshot episode, which I thought was hilarious, which I didn't think would actually happen because when you think about it realistically, ever since season 3 ended and Suicide Squad as a production continued to move forward, and now that we're transitioned to season 4, we haven't really referenced Argus or used Argus or have actually even seen Amanda Waller as a legitimate supporting character since Suicide Squad has been a in-production movie. So I thought it was kind of odd how they kind of killed her off just out of general. I mean, granted, Viola Davis is a big star, especially now, and now that she's, the big bad of the DC universe, it makes sense that, okay, kill her off, kill off the TV version because we have the movie side. But I just thought it was kind of odd how they did that because unlike the Deadshot Suicide Squad stuff, they fucking didn't really use Amanda Waller that much this season. Hell, they hardly used her for the second half of Arrow Season 3 that much. I mean, yeah, she was a major part of the flashbacks, but I just think it was kind of odd how they did that. I mean, for a character that's hardly ever seen on the show, they dedicated an episode to her and then just killed her off just because there's a movie coming out with the same character namesake. So, I don't know. Let me know what you personally think about that, but I just thought it was odd. But moving off of that, the Diggle stuff. The Diggle stuff... it's the oddest thing because there's a lot about it I like, but there's a lot of things about it that I don't really understand, which is basically Diggle, John obviously has major problems with Andy, Andy has major problems with John, but we don't really actually get to see the conflict as to why they have these big problems. It feels more or less rudimentary, kind of like elementary school brother kind of problems, which I thought was weird because you get the feeling especially in the prior episodes this season, you get the feeling that Andy must have done something really just overly dark to make John hate him as much. I mean, for God's sake, he freaking beat the living crap out of him when he had him in a cell for no real apparent reason. So, I don't know why in this episode they were just like, now we're going to work together and we're going to be brothers again because we went to Afghanistan a long time ago and that meant something, allegedly. I just thought that was kind of odd. But on the flip side to that, it's also a very good plot device and also had some payoff because Diggle's subplot, sub-story, if you will, all throughout the season has varied. It's been on and off again in the sense of, okay, Diggle's important, then he's not important. Then he's like a side character, then he's back to like Oliver's older brother, like father kind of figure, and then he's irrelevant, and then he's relevant again, and then he's irrelevant, then he's having a problem with his brother, then he's not, and then it's just very on and off as to whether or not Diggle's story or sub-story is important to the overall scope of Arrow or it's not important. And I felt like it had a pretty decent payoff in this episode. I felt like the flashbacks regarding Diggle very paid off. I thought it was interesting how it transitioned from, that specific storyline to the Oliver Island stuff, which is odd in and of itself, but regardless of any of that, I thought it was just very cool how they paid it off and had that amazing ending with the Diggle family together. You had Diggle, Lila, Andy, and of course the daughter character, and I thought it was just very nice. It was a very good, happy ending to an Arrow episode, which is very rare considering that majority of all Arrow episodes usually end with cliffhangers, someone actually allegedly dying, or just straight up sad and someone crying or something, or, something of that kind of a nature. So I thought it was kind of nice to see an Arrow episode that actually ends with a good, completed episode storyline and actually someone being happy. So on that note, I think the Diggle stuff was very good, but let's move off of that. Let's move off of the Diggle stuff, the Argus stuff, the really weird Amanda Waller stuff, and get into the specific storyline that I'm sure everyone is specifically talking about or even gives a shit about with this specific episode, which of course is the Felicity stuff. Now, after the debacle of the last couple episodes with, Felicity getting attacked by Damien Dark's forces and then becoming paralyzed, then becoming, Oracle Felicity or whatever the fuck Oliver wants to call her, and now that we're in this stage in her character development, it was I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like it's the most interesting but the most cheesiest fucking thing I ever saw Arrow actually do. Now, of course, there's a good and bad side to this. I mean, the good stuff is that this is an interesting subplot. I mean, Felicity's dealing with some hardcore stuff that Oliver doesn't understand, that none of the other teammates on Team Arrow understand, which is they want Felicity to be back where she was and being at the core of Team Arrow, because without Felicity, Team Arrow is very discombobulated. You know, it's a family at this point in time in the Arrowverse, regardless if you like it or not. It's a family, so they have to have her come back. But of course, Felicity's dealing with a lot of, internal, turmoil with the fact that she's not going to walk anymore. She knows that she's going to be wheelchair bound for the majority of her life here on out, and she doesn't like that idea. And she feels that she's to blame, that that Oliver's to blame, that everyone's to blame because she chose to become a part of this superhero crime fighting, freaking journey with Oliver because she loves him, and because of that, it's why she's now freaking Barbara Gordon Oracle, wheelchair style. So I really enjoyed that stuff. However, did they really have to do the goth Felicity thing? Someone, I want to hear a defender fucking please comment below and let me know, because honestly, that was the dumbest, cheesiest fucking thing I've seen Arrow do in a while. I mean, granted, it makes sense. I mean, it's been done a lot of times in movies, TV shows, cartoons, with DC superheroes dealing with an alternate version of themselves, discussing which one is better, which one is going to prevail. It's a very Harvey Dent Two-Face syndrome that most characters deal with in the majority of all superhero spectrums. But, I mean, who the fuck came up with the idea of Goth Felicity coming back? I mean, I don't know, maybe it was some pervert writer on the fucking Arrows crew or something, but who the fuck thought that was a good idea? I want to know. I mean, it was a dumb, stupid episode throwaway last season, and they brought it back because I guess someone was like, hey, Emily Bett Richards looks so hot with a black wig. Let's do that again because, I need some jerking off material. I felt like that was what they were going for because it serves no real purpose of her having goth Felicity back and having this weird throwaway subplot of her battling this internal freaking doppelganger of hers. It just doesn't make that much. It is cheesy. Just the way they executed on the freaking episode is cheesy and stupid looking. I mean, I don't know. In my personal opinion, I like the idea that they addressed the problem of Felicity wanting to possibly go back, but not knowing if she's really in the right mindset to do that. But the whole goth Felicity thing was so cheesy, it kind of took me away from it. I was really in, and then you took me back with the goth Felicity stuff. Now, granted, it's kind of gone now. Felicity's back where she needs to be. She's back on top of things. And Oliver, I guess, vows to one day make sure she can walk again, which I guess will inevitably happen because Felicity is the number one, freaking character that everyone fucking loves. And probably one of the main reasons as to why everyone fucking continues to watch Arrow. So I'm guessing that at some point, whether it be the end of the season or season 5 or season 20 or something, Felicity will probably walk again and she will continuously not be a Barbara Gordon ripoff character. However, with that being said and done, I will admit, even though I bashed the living crap out of the Felicity-Barbara Gordon comparison in the whole Oracle storyline debacle last episode review, I will admit, I like the idea that they did not call her Oracle, and I did like the idea, and fact, that Oliver did state, spoilers, that his original codename for Felicity, as of now, was Oracle, but it was taken. Could that mean that Oracle already exists in this universe? We're never gonna see it, but it's kind of cool just to know. I'm just saying, I was really pissed there, and I was like, you son of a bitch, you better not say Oracle. But then when he says Oracle, and he's like, but it's taken, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's fucking nice. I want to get to know about more of that kind of shit. And then, of course, the episode continues with its regular Arrows stuff. And I don't know. I just personally really love that. So overall, this episode was a pretty good, decent episode. Definitely very interesting subplots. Of course, the Amanda Waller or Argus stuff wasn't really that much of a threat. And it was more or less just it was basically like a plot device to make the audience, which is us, basically go like, okay, Andy and John are going to become brothers again by the end of the episode. That was the purpose of the Argus Amanda Waller stuff, but I just thought it was odd that they chose this episode to kill her off, considering she's a character we never actually see on screen majority of the time. So I guess Viola Davis has no freaking competition. She's the only Amanda Waller from here on out. I guess, her and Will Smith are like, we're fucking Suicide Squad bitches. Fuck you, Arrow. I don't know, but let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. But overall, a final verdict for this episode has to be a solid 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. The Felicity stuff was cheesy. Goth Felicity, I don't understand the purpose of that. Although I did like the Oracle thing. The reference to Oracle was also kind of cool. Easter egg to Court Industries. If I see it again, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Freaking Diggle versus Diggle Brotherhood thing, really cool. I really enjoyed that. And Argus Amanda Waller dying, whatever. It's a done deal. What are you gonna do? Suicide Squad's coming out this year, technically later this year. So, it's a done deal. But overall, let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. My final verdict is the 8.5 out of 10. Let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. What do you think about all these things that I had to state in this episode review? And of course, also, I didn't get the chance to talk about this in my Flash review, which of course just got uploaded. So please go check that out. But I know a lot of people are kind of going all crazy on the internet, debating whether or not Kevin Smith comments over the DC special is valid or not, considering the fact that he stated that DC is known for multiverses, which is true, but is it possible that the DC movie universe and the TV universe will ever coincide and crossover with one another? And I just wanted to comment on that real quick, which is basically, I don't really see that happening anytime soon. However, wait until like Flash season 5, or like when 2020 comes around and we're done with all of the DC slated movies. I think that's where we might see something like that happen. And also, let me know if you would like to see something like that happen. I personally would love to see Grant Gustin's Flash hang out with Ezra Miller, even though everyone's bitching about that as well. But I also would like to see freaking Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen show up and hang out with Ben Affleck's Batman. That would also be pretty freaking badass. So let me know what you personally think about all this stuff, and comment below and let me know what you personally think about this episode and my review of it. But that being said, shameless plug time. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh12. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this has been Josh12.